Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Lack of Focus, episode 26. Happy anniversary! I am your host, Ed Horn, and alongside me tonight, we're flying solo together. It won Mr. Chris Sheriff, the producer extraordinaire. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, good, thanks, Ed.
Yeah, so we've had a little bit, except there's been some weather, there's been stuff. Chad's still recovering, so it's just going to be Chad, or Chris, yeah, Chris and I tonight. I almost misspoke there. It's just going to be Chris and I tonight. On this historic episode of Lack of Focus, we are officially, well, semi-officially 1 year old.
Oh,
Yeah, a year
right.
ago today, we did the joke episode of the old Nova Squadron radio show, which triggered off the genus for this episode or this show. So we're celebrating a year of happiness together.
Yeah,
I'm happy, Chris.
yeah, we did that, and this is obviously episode 26, so we record every 2 weeks ish. So we've been going for a year ish, and we have 26 episodes, so feels like a good run so far.
So far, it seems like we're doing
Yeah.
pretty good. So we're going to make this a little bit of a short one because we're lack of a few people. We only have a handful of things to cover over tonight. Anyway, the Naboo Starfighter is out, and I'm really, really sorry that Chad's not here to cover it.
I'm not.
Um, we've got some other stuff that's kind of going around. We're just going to kick around for about an hour or so. So stick around. We're just doing this in one cut. So we're going to roll right into flight deck. Chris, what have you been flying lately?
So I took my Paul Damron 3A Wing squad in today into work. So we're recording on Saturday. It was our Wave 2 championship, and we had an even number of players, so I didn't get to play. I was all sad. Um,
Aw.
I was pretty like I was like choked. I was like, this is going to be the one. I'm going to win. I'm going to like crush everyone before me, mercilessly slay people with these awesome A wings and
See
pull and
them driven
oh,
before you and hear the lamentation of their women.
exactly. And we had stupid even numbers, so I didn't get to play. Uh,
Aw.
it was fine. It was a nice quiet day. The turnout was pretty low actually. We did an extended tournament for our Wave 2 championship, and we only had like 6 people, so I was like really disappointed. There would have been more people playing last night, playing just casual X-wing, than managed to make it out for a Wave 2 thing. So maybe it was the extended. People just weren't up for it. I don't know, but
I'd be
yeah,
really curious to see if you could pull the players, like your regulars that come in on your X-Wing nights, to find out why they didn't make it. I mean, because you can have some people say, yeah, I kind of had work or we had a
yeah.
family. Like here in the US, it's a holiday weekend, so I can totally see if it's not a holiday weekend for you in Canada. So what was the deal? If it is the extended, it kind of leans in my same direction where people really, really like hyperspace, and extended's like this
Like,
collection of everything that could possibly go wrong.
yeah, I don't disagree. It's just one of those things, I suppose. I wasn't massively surprised that it wasn't a huge attendance, but I thought we'd get like 12, and we got half of that. There were a few people who like confirmed ahead of time they wouldn't be able to make it, but I'd already had to slide the dates around because we'd normally have our events on the second or the middle Saturday of a month, so we were a week behind, and that's because it was all booked out for the big events I ran last weekend. So it was pretty awkward, but I'd given people enough notice. Um, Decent variety of lists considering it was extended. Only one Quad Phantom list, which didn't even win. So you suck, Will.
Good.
Get good, you scrub.
What
Um,
list did end up coming out on top?
it was Gurry with advanced sensors and a couple bits and pieces. Um, yeah, Gurry outmaneuver Gurry with advanced sensors, then two M3A Seeks with Ion.
Ooh, interesting.
Sirisu and Leighton Ashira, I think it is. Where the one where if you evade successfully, you get an evade token. And they both had ion cannons for a little bit of control and a 3 dice attack. And it came down to the last shot of the game of the last on the final table. Um, he'd done a cater. Patrick was winning. He was flying Major Vinder loaded out with protons and advanced protons, Darth Vader, and then a Lambda with Palpatine. And
I like that list.
he
I
he
like that a lot.
he got into a position where he's behind Gurry and the Sikh, but failed to like kill the Sikh off. Uh, Mark K turns a Seek, so he's going to have an unmodded shot. Vader can't get away, so he's two-hearted and barrel rolled out, and then Vader action for a focus. So he's got a structural damage, so he's only rolling 2 dice, but back up to 3 because of a range. Mark rolls his unmodified attack, gets 1 hit, and Vader doesn't roll any paint and dies. Loses his last hit, which
Oh.
swings the game from Mark losing by about 20 something points to winning by about 10. So, yeah, sad times. Mark is the kind of player who lives and dies by his dice. He puts himself into positions where he needs the dice to pay off. And when they do, he'll win and do really well. When they don't, he whinges quite a lot about his dice. So,
Mark, I don't know you, but you sound exactly like you and I sound on the same wavelength, my friend. I do that all the time.
yeah, it's fine. I give him a lot of shit, and a lot of it he doesn't actually deserve, but I find it funny. So, unlucky Mark, you stuck with me.
Sorry. Did you get any
Yeah.
other games in other than the store championship, of course?
No, it was actually one of my friend's birthdays last night, where I would have normally played a game after the stream or after work. So I didn't even get my normal game because obviously we recorded last week. So I played a game that we've already spoke about.
Yeah, I feel like
But
I've been recording quite a bit lately.
yeah, we
We did a
did.
whole, in case you missed it, we did a whole Game of Thrones, like an hour and a half rant on Game of Thrones. Go check that out on the Patreon page if you want. It's free. You don't have to actually be a Patreon, but I highly recommend that because you guys turned me around on the season.
Yeah, we did the Game of Thrones. I also put them up on the YouTube channel as well now. It's been a couple of days. So the patrons got their exclusive access. If you want it in audio format, head over to the Patreon page. If you want to watch the vlog on YouTube, they're available on the Dice 8 YouTube channel as well. Um,
There is a
yeah,
parental warning on that one, by the way. Sorry.
no, it was good. We did that. We did a bonus episode which everybody got. So we've recorded like one. We recorded last Saturday, was it, or last Sunday? I can't remember. Keep
I can't
looking over
remember. I
here
feel like,
instead of here. I'm
yeah, I
looking
was gonna
around. I'm
say,
like,
I feel
I
like we've
should
been
switch
on
my
so much
camera around.
recently.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. So I've not really done much. I played some Arkham Horror. No, some Arkham Horror, some Mansions of Madness. I've done a lot of tidying and sorting, trying to get more prepared. So I've been trying to do more YouTube content. So we managed to hit 1 video a day. Well, 5 videos a week. So Monday to Friday we put a video out, and then I don't do Saturday and Sunday unless I have something special planned. Um, so we're kind of back on the horse. I've been doing book reviews. I've got some unboxing videos coming up. Gonna have some board game reviews for different board games. Like the Dark Souls card game, I've had that on the shelf for about 6 months now and not opened it because I've been waiting to record a video. So got a
Oh,
few
that sounds
different
like
things
fun.
coming up. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting on the table and actually trying out properly. And then I plan on trying to, if I can, I'm not going to promise this. These will be the bonus Saturday videos. I'm trying to get some X-wing videos recorded and then edited down into like 30-minute games where I'll do little bits of commentary over it and stuff. But it's
Are you thinking
relatively difficult.
are you thinking like Vassal games? Or are you talking like in-person games or both?
Both. Like the Vassal ones that we've done are like the core of the idea. But I've got obviously my mobile rig for recording games as well, so I can still do all the tracking and everything. And then I'll just do commentary over of like what I was thinking and my mindset for all of my stuff. So I tend to be pretty open anyway with when I'm chatting on the stream about what I'm doing, and then trying to actually give my perspective. I It'd be hard. Obviously, what I'd probably do is if I did it with you, we could maybe get you to record, like watch the unedited video and give your commentary, and then I could try and splice it all together. But
Oh
that
yeah, no,
seems
I'd be
like
happy
even
to.
even more work. So we'll wait and go through it. But
Well, some of the other things I know we had talked about were potential like how-to videos. Like, I know that there's a great series of videos from a YouTuber who did really really well for a short period of time and then just vanished. But like things like the Rule of 11 and how to fly in formation and things like that. But even getting into the nitty gritty, like I'm flying this specific pilot with this specific upgrade, and this is how I make this work. This is what it looks like on the table. This is how you're supposed to use it. Little things like that would be, I think, invaluable.
Yeah, once I'm actually in the routine, I've been really. I showed you before we're filming like my board of videos and what I want to do.
It's pretty impressive, guys.
Once I can start hitting those targets, I do have plans to actually have like a series on the YouTube channel of actually on like the table's all set up behind me with like the boom mic and everything now. So actually doing proper videos and then trying to do green screen work as well. So I've got big plans, but I keep making these plans and then not following through on them. So I don't want to commit too much.
It's almost like there's a little person that lives in your house and depends on you for everything that might be soaking up some serious amount of time.
That is both true and my excuse. She is there, and I do put a lot of effort into trying to be a good parent, like going out to a zoo and doing stuff. And then I've got, I think I was saying to you, I've got like 12 commission paint projects with 3 other people wanting to jump on the list, so like up to 15 commissions to work through. So I'm booked out into like the end of July at the moment.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and that I might get them done quicker, and some of them might overrun. So I do like a rough estimate of this is when I would like this project finished type thing, and that doesn't involve painting anything for myself. So
So
um,
question for you. I know that there are other streamers out there who stream while they paint.
yeah,
Like having like the model view, like this is me painting, and then they can just, shoot the shit while they're talking. And like, hey, this is what's on my mind. This is what I'm thinking about. It can be anything. It can be music, books, TV shows, whatever, like anything at all while they're doing it. That might kind of like serve double purpose while you're doing your commission work and getting content out there at the same
I
time.
I've done it a couple of times. Like we did painting shows on the Sentry Boxes channel, and I normally do them with somebody else, so I have a co-host so we can talk to each other,
Oh
and
yeah, no, I
they're
can understand that.
fine. But it's something that if I was going to do painting videos, I'd want to do more tutorial type stuff, and that's a lot of work because it's a lot of editing work as well. But for a 10-minute video, you're looking at like 8 hours worth of painting. All right, for me, like 3 hours worth of painting. Then you've got to edit that video down, make sure all of the commentary's right, and so, like,
Okay, maybe I didn't put that much thought into it.
no, it's something that I always wanted to try to do, but I think it needs to be the focus of the channel, and that's when it becomes actually a job. And don't get me wrong, if I had the subscribers and there was demand for me to do it, I would make those videos. But at the minute, I don't make any money doing any of the YouTube stuff. Everything's a giant loss because I enjoy it. So
Yeah, it's mostly just
I
for fun
need
and
to
games
keep,
at that
yeah.
point.
I don't mind like these videos that we do take minimal editing now. I've got pretty good at it, but if I've tried to do anything that involves proper editing, I'm still not an expert. A lot of these YouTube channels that are big, they actually employ an editor, and other people do that while they're making the content and stuff. So we're
And
nowhere
that's you.
near that level. Yeah.
It's all
So
you.
yeah, I get to do stuff. Editing work gets done in the like between 30 minutes and 90 minutes a day when Evie's napping. Then recording gets done when Jill gets home because she can take the baby for a little bit, and then everything else is just as and when I can find time. So fun.
Yep. Nope. Totally understand. Is there anything else you want to cover on that?
No, what have you been up to? What have you been up?
Not a ton. I didn't get a ton of X-Wing in. It's just been, a series of those same couple of weeks. The only thing of interest I can at least speak on for probably 30 minutes easy. Not only is it the 1 year anniversary of the show, but it is also the 40th anniversary of one of my all-time favorite movies, which is the movie Alien by Ridley Scott. And there is a publishing company called Free League Publishing, which is producing an Alien RPG. And this morning, they opened up their pre orders for the game. So there's a whole different. They of course it's just like you would do for like a Kickstarter almost, except these are pre-orders. You're going to get the game. They're going to be shipping in December. So I went ahead and got not the top tier because I didn't see the reason for spending an extra $100 for an autographed poster, but the near top tier for the 40th anniversary limited edition bundle of the Alien RPG, which includes an embossed, limited edition rule book, and you get 2 sets of their dice, which look to be all six-siders. You get a fantastic GM screen with some awesome artwork on it, some maps, some cards. But the other thing that you get access to, and this is something we should probably hit on just briefly, is you get a 168-page cinematic starter kit PDF, which is designed to be like the beta test of the game. And of course, the minute I heard that, I'm like, hey, Chris, do you want to stream some Alien RPG? And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So we're in conversations now. Once we get a hold of the PDF, we're going to go ahead and attempt to maybe stream the game on Twitch. I have two of my children are going to play. Sean wants to play. Chad wants to play. So we might do some Alien RPG streaming on the Dice 8 channel just for fun and giggles. And if we are so lucky, we can report these games, we might end up as playtesters on the book. So that's kind of my goal now. Now I want my goal to have my name on that book.
It'll be fun if we can pull it off. There's still some logistical things we're trying to work out, but I think we should be okay. Maybe. Touch wood.
Yeah, I think so. The trick, of course, is having 4 people around the table at my house and streaming it on Twitch so that my 2 children, of course, are minors. One's 11, one's 14, so I don't necessarily want them on camera, but we still want a camera on Chad and myself and a camera on Sean, and we're all going to kind of play the game. It's just, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out, and it will come together. I'm positive of it.
We'll make something work. And even if it deteriorates and we end up just doing some content afterwards or whatever, we'll make it work. We'll do something.
Yeah, so I spent $142 this morning on a dream of an RPG that's going to show up in December. I do, of course, have my concerns. Not that it's not going to happen, but I know of other people that have backed, like Kickstarters, for example, that just never fired. And the difference between a Kickstarter and a pre-order is a Kickstarter, if that doesn't fire, you get your money back from Kickstarter.
No.
If this doesn't fire off...
So that's the other way around.
Oh, really?
If on Kickstarter, if the project is successful and they take your money, you have donated that money to that cause. You don't buy anything on Kickstarter. You give them money, and they may give you a reward for giving them that money.
Oh,
if they choose to not give you any of these rewards, unlucky, because you donated that money to a project you believed in. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Kickstarter's fun. Short, good.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's the first time. It's obviously one of my favorite cinematic universes. Period. I love the entire genre. And they haven't had a proper RPG. They did one in the late '80s, early '90s, but it wasn't. It wasn't what I would consider a finished product. It was kind of a thrown together kind of thing. Leading Edge Games was the one that had done it, and then it just kind of vanished. So to be able to roleplay in this universe, like there's a couple of them. Like I'd love to be able to roleplay in the Conan universe, and love to be able to roleplay in the Dune universe.
There's a Conan game.
I know there's a Conan game, but I have a whole bookshelf full of RPGs that sit here and collect dust. This one, because I know how my children absolutely love the universe, so I know that this one's going to get played and well loved. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've got far too many that I'll never play. So
I even wore my Nostromo T-shirt today to celebrate the 25th or the 40th anniversary of the movie. I was super into it today.
I wore my Old Greg Boat Times 2005 T-shirt, available on the Dice Hate store from TeePublic. It's my best-selling T-shirt. People keep buying it because they love Old Greg.
Oh, good for him.
Sean's missing out. I think Sean's bought one of these. I'm pretty sure.
Sean's got one of the ones that I really want. Whenever Doug Kenny put the original Fly Casual T-shirts out, I'm so disappointed I didn't get one of those when they first got. I saw them, said and then didn't know where that phrase was going to go for a long time, and I should have bought one when they came out originally.
Have you not seen? I think I showed you my my Fly What Now T-shirt that I have as well.
I don't think I've seen that
So
one.
it's got the Lambda shuttle still on it. Sorry, it's got an piece of an original art which may resemble a Lambda because
Potentially,
copyright.
of course.
Then it's got um, fuck fly casual, don't be a dick.
Oh, that one. I do remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I missed that one too.
No.
All right, so that's it. That's all I've got for my gaming. So I guess we can go right into the news, and we're looking at pull up
New
my
tricks.
article.
New tricks.
New tricks with the Naboo Starfighter. Again, super sorry Chad is not here.
Oh well.
All right, so let's start off with Rick Olay. He's coming in at an initiative 5. The base stats for the Naboo Starfighter consist of the following. It's going to have a focus, target lock, barrel roll, and boost, all of which are white. No linked actions in there. Comes with 2 primary attack, 2 evade, 3 hull, 2 shields, and the full throttle is the baked-in ability for all of the Naboo Starfighters. After you fully execute a speed 3 to 5 maneuver, you may perform an evade action. So sort of similar to what they ended up giving. There's a couple others that have got it.
Yeah.
The Defender, right? Exactly. Yeah. Except instead of the, no, it is the exact same.
Exact same. Yeah. So it's worth going over dial for that, just so people know what will trigger it.
Of course.
Yeah. So we have the 1 banks are white, the 1 straight is white. Then it has all of the 2s, with the 2 hards being white. 2 banks are blue, the 2 straight is blue. Then it has 3 Talon roll, which is red. 3 banks are white. The 3 hards are white.
Yeah.
The 3 banks are blue, which is pretty good, and the 3 straight is blue. Then it's got a 4 straight, which is white, and a 5 straight, which is white.
Not a lot of red on that dial.
Not only the 3 Talon rolls, or both of the 3 Talon rolls are red. I should say, maybe.
And that bank 3 blue, that's hot.
Yeah, it makes it a fast ship, but if you want to clear stress, you're going fast. It's different to a Defender in that it doesn't have the 4K that's white, and obviously the Defender triggers full throttle whilst doing that 4K, which is whilst it's so effective. So if you're gonna use this to its maximum potential, trying to get those evade tokens, maybe you're running Juke on it, something like that, it's gonna play very differently to a Defender.
Well, you're not going to be able to pull. I'm trying to do. In my head, I'm doing the steps on when you gain the stress. You're not going to be able to pull off the Talon roll and get the evade action either, because you're going to gain the stress right after that. So, the interesting part to this dial for me though is the fact that it can go fast or slow, because it's got everything from the one. It can do the 1 straight, which is one of the better maneuvers in the entire game, or it can do a 5 or it can do anything. So I mean, it's really a robust dial. The only thing, of course, is its turning around ability is limited to those Talon rolls.
Yeah. So the thing I like, obviously we'll get to it in a little while, but you can almost stall with the barrel rolling backwards, stuff like that, and the 1 straight. So you can really control the speed, and then when you need to go fast, you can. You can get rid of your stress with those 3 banks, which gives you a lot of options. And then, did we cover the action bar? Focus,
we did?
Yeah, focus, target, barrel roll boost. So no native evade. The only way to get evade is through the full throttle ability, which will become pertinent as we get to the later pilots. But it's definitely an interesting one. Rick Olay seems like he's... I want him to be really good because it's the Initiative 5, but I'm a little bit worried that people are going to try to keep him on target. I think we spoke about Vader being played in this kind of style, where he needs to get in, punch something really hard, and then get back out, spend a couple of turns vying for position, come in again. So it's not like you're playing a Defender where you're gonna be like in the fight. You're gonna, have your range 3 engagement, range 1, 4K behind them. You've had 3 turns of shooting, and every time your gun's been shooting. This is gonna be like a range 2 shot, and then you're past them, and then you're out and coming back around.
Sort of like how you're supposed to fly like Soontir.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
We should probably cover his ability. We have not actually read that out loud. So, his ability, while you defend or perform a primary attack, if the speed you revealed on the maneuver is higher than the enemy ship's, roll 1 additional die. So, is that you went faster than the opponent? So, like, they're talking the ship's die, or the ship's dial, correct?
Yeah. So, the pertinent thing to remember here is what the actual X-Wing rules say. Because I've had people complaining about this already. And like the extra admin it's going to add into a game. After you fully execute a maneuver, you return your dial to the pilot card. It doesn't say you spin your dial around to a different move. It doesn't say you plan for next phase's move. Your dial is known information that should remain the same and be placed upon your pilot card. So if you're not doing that, you're not following the rules, and that's fine, unless Rick Olay is in the game. As soon as this is in the game and you need to know my speed and your speed, you've got that extra little bit of game state that needs to be maintained. So it's not difficult. It's not going to be hard. I dialed in this move. You dialed in that. You don't have to remember. If you're a judge and go over to a table and they can't remember, both players are at fault for not maintaining the game state. So...
Unfortunately, that is how it's going to work. Yeah. One of the, if Chad were here, he'd point out the artwork is more Anakin than Rick Olay, by the way, because that's Anakin bursting out of the right before Darth Maul's coming in, and the tank is firing at him as he's going up.
They all leave the hangar, don't they?
Yeah.
Because he's laid out. We're gonna get enough Anakin later, so.
Oh yes, we will. Yeah. It also comes with a copy of Daredevil. I think we've seen Daredevil before, correct? This is not new.
So they stated that obviously you wouldn't have to buy outside of your faction. So all of the cards that are in the conversion kits for the other factions are trying to get out in different packs for both Separatists and Grand Republic. So that's why you get Daredevil. I'm still not sold that it's actually a good card, so do what you want.
Right, but it's a place to put it in here at least.
Yeah,
because it's a ship with a native boost. All right, so let's get to him. Little Annie at 8 years old, and Initiative 4.
It's already a pretty good pilot.
Yeah, I'd say. Before you reveal your maneuver, you may spend 1 force token to barrel roll. This is not an action. So, of course, he has the same baselines, plus he has the rechargeable 1 force token on him. So you could, in theory, barrel roll twice.
So what you can do, this is what I was talking about for stalling your ship. You barrel roll backwards, then you do a 1 straight, and then you barrel roll back to where you came from backwards again. And you should advance half a base length. If my geometry is correct.
Your geometry is correct.
You can do a half forwards.
I think your geometry. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down and put it on the table and try it out and see how that works out. But I think it actually it's almost like a quarter movement almost.
Because you have to go center to. Yeah, you've got to go center, so that puts you a quarter of base length back. Then you'll move 2 base lengths forward because your base plus the template. Then you'll move a quarter of a base length back. So it's as if you dialed in a half straight. So you do 1.5 base lengths forward, which is still slow.
It's still pretty slow. You can definitely stall the ship if you want.
Yeah. Which is funny because it goes fast.
Yeah, it goes really fast or really slow. It depends.
The other one that I like is it's not an action, so you can apparently do it while you're stressed. Fun.
Ooh, wow, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. It's not an action, so there's nothing to stop you doing it while stressed.
Absolutely. I've seen a lot of chatter about the next one, passive sensors. It's coming in. It's got 1 charge on it that is a rechargeable charge. Action. Spend 1 charge token. You can only perform this action in your perform action step. So meaning that you have to be performing an action to pull this off. You can't pull it off other ways. Yeah. While your charge is inactive, you cannot be coordinated. Before you engage, If your charge is inactive, you may perform a calculate or target lock action. So, what that means in loose translation, you spend this so that you don't have a charge on it, and then you can perform a free calculate or target lock action. So when you're looking at someone like Anakin, for example, who has performed a free barrel roll by using his force, done a maneuver, did this as his action, and got a calculate token or a target lock token, I'm trying to figure out where this comes in, like why I would want to do
So
that.
if I have torpedoes and I'm an Initiative 1 pilot, I move forwards, you're Initiative 6, so I can't get a target lock on you. So I can't fire my torpedoes this turn. So then you fly in and get a target lock on me because you've got the higher initiative. And then I have to shoot my crappy primary at you. And you get to shoot your torpedoes at me. Now, if I survive to my initiative step, I can take a target lock on you now and fire my torpedoes.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like a lesser powerful Deadeye.
Yeah, very similar. I wonder why they went with a calculate token. Oh, I guess because it's the sensors, the passive sensors that are ones that are doing it. I guess that's why.
Yeah.
It's not a fort. It's not a. It's not a living thing. So it's not giving you a focus token.
Yeah. So it's a system slot. So it's going to be more restricted than Deadeye, but I do like this actually. There's a lot of intricacies with it. Like you get your target lock at your initiative value when you're engaging, so you can't be coordinated in between that. But if you've got an initiative 1, um, something that can coordinate initiative 1. So we'll pretend you're playing first order since that's what the picture is. You've got some.
I was thinking like one of the escape shuttles or something like that could do
Yeah,
it.
but you've got your TIE SFs and you're running missiles on them. Normally you need your target locks, so you come in, you coordinate with hooks, give your 3 SFs all get a focus. Then because you can still coordinate them whilst your charge is active, and that happened
Correct.
at Initiative 1 because you chose the crappiest pilot. Then your SFs move, clear the stress because it becomes a red focus action with hooks. Then they perform passive sensors, so you get focused, target locked missile shots out of your SFs, which could be shooting backwards.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
absolutely true.
Yeah, good. I like it.
I do. All right. So coming in at Initiative 3, Danae Elberger. While you defend or perform an attack, if the speed of your revealed maneuver is the same as the enemy's ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified. Beginning to recognize a trend here with these Naboo Starfighters.
Yeah. It's kind of like being Omega Leader, but having to guess dial speed instead of just target locking them.
Yeah. Omega Leader has a full name now, doesn't he?
Midnight.
Midnight. Thank you. I was gonna say you said that, and I'm like, oh yeah. Oh wait, no, they've given a name to that pilot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar mechanic. Again, this is going to go back to that same point that you had made before, though, maintaining the board state of the game, knowing which maneuvers had gone off. That's going to be a little tiresome at first, but I think people might start getting into the habit of when they see Naboo Starfighters on the field, that just kind of remember, hey, I'm going to have to keep that dial and know what I did.
Yeah. It shouldn't take long. I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it's confusing. It's just people have to actually play by the rules of the game. I don't know. So whatever.
So now we're gonna toy with that. Like we're gonna throw the monkey wrench into this with R2-A6. Republic only. After you reveal your dial, you may set your dial to a maneuver of the same bearing of a speed 1 higher or 1 lower. Now, why ever would you want to do that? Oh, right. There's 2 pilots that say whatever my dial says, that's where that goes.
Yeah.
That is I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, and this is really good, especially when you look at the banks. You've got all 3 of them in the range, so dial in the 2 bank and you should be okay. Obviously, you can dial in the 4 straight if you're wanting to trigger full throttle and drop down to a 3 or go up to a 5. So it does give you a normal at the normal level of like dial control, so that ability, but the synergy you do get with those two pilots is pretty strong. But again, you have to set it to a move on your dial, so it's not like the old Juno Eclipse ability. I forgot is it Ved Volso or something like that? It's a current one that has that ability where you can
Yeah,
change your
yeah.
2 hard into a 1 hard when your ship doesn't
They
have it.
retconned Juno out of the game.
Yeah, it's like
Still not happy about it.
you may set your dial to a maneuver, so it has to actually be on your dial.
Yes, correct. However, I'd say for those specifically, Rick, I think that droid, assuming that it's not like an exorbitant amount of points, if we're looking like anywhere between 2 and 3 points, is basically stapled to that ship.
I kind of disagree
I'm willing to hear counter arguments.
So, given that you need to fly quickly anyway, I'm gonna have to try and find the article. There was another droid that let you spend an evade as if it were a calculate token. I'm just trying to find its name from the old article. So it's not like you're going to want to fly him slowly, is it? You're going to fly Ricolet quickly, and you're going to be trying to punch in and out of a combat like we spoke about. So it's not that.
Well, I feel like his ability, like any of those abilities that are determined upon the speed, are super situational. And there'll be far too many occasions where you go into I needed to dial in that 2 to get the shot that I wanted to. If I had dialed in a 3, I'd be able to proc my ability and can't. That's why I'm saying that I think that those are almost, again, if it's a 1-point upgrade, it's stapled to that ship, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, obviously it's points dependent, which is the caveat we don't give anymore because we're bored of it, but we probably always should because it's what we mean.
Yeah, that's it is absolutely true.
Is it a droid? I'm sure I know it's droid. I'm gonna just check to make sure.
He's going through. Crazy. He's going through and finding all the droids now. All right. Well, while you're looking that droid up, I'm going to move on to Padme Amidala, who's also in Initiative 4. Didn't realize that she was that good of a pilot, to be perfectly honest with you. Her ability says, while an enemy ship is in your forward firing arc, defends or performs an attack, that ship can modify only one focus result. All other results still can't be modified. So basically turning their focus into calculates for all intents and purpose.
Yeah.
But that would also...
So go on.
I was going to say, but that would also intimate that not only can they only use a focus, but then they couldn't use force tokens.
They can't use target locks. They can't use any form of modification on that die.
Now that's fascinating.
Yeah.
She just got a whole lot better as I sat down and thought about that for a second. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's good.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
So between her and Danae, like you've got a whole bunch of Naboo ships that are like, you can't modify your dice. You can't modify your dice here either. That could be pretty scary.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's it works on both offense and defense for you, for any enemy ship in your firing arc. So she's really good.
Still trying to find that droid?
Oh, I'm just doing a quick Google search.
Uh-oh.
It's fine.
All right, well, I'm going to cover... We have plasma torpedoes again for probably the same reason, because they didn't have access to it before. And now there's a ship out there that you can go and get it. So we'll just skip past that. We also get to take a look at the limited version of the Initiative 1 Naboo Handmaiden, which actually comes... I love the fact that we've got these generic pilots that have special abilities now. I recognize that the droids kind of make sense, but I love the fact that we now have generic pilots with abilities. In the setup phase, after placing forces, assign the decoyed Condition 1 to one friendly ship other than the Naboo Handmaiden. What does Naboo decoy sound? While you defend each friendly Naboo Handmaiden, I keep tripping on that word for some reason.
Naboo Handmaiden.
Naboo Handmaiden. In the attack arc, may spend one evade token to change one of your results to an evade. If you are a Naboo Royal N-1 Starfighter, each friendly Naboo Handmaiden in the attack arc may spend one evade token to add an evade result.
So it's it's
instead.
very wordy, and this gets relatively complex if you don't think it
Yeah.
through properly. So we'll start off with Naboo Handmaidens as the actual ship card. They
Mm-hmm.
are limited 2. So
Correct.
you can field 2 Naboo Handmaidens in your list. The key to this is what is how the limited keyword actually works, and that is during squad building. So the decoy condition is limited 1. So you can only have 1 decoy condition. But it doesn't happen in squad building, so you can still take 2 handmaidens. It's okay. But
Oh, okay.
once you set them up, you can't decoy 2 different ships. Both handmaidens effectively decoy the same ship. If that makes sense.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
So it doesn't say any of that, but that's what the 2 dots and the 1 dot actually mean. Is that effectively you can you could say I'm going to pick this ship over here. Surprise! I actually meant this one, but it all happens at the same time, so you don't get to change it. You just say during setup, sorry, after setup. I'm going to double check and get the wording on this right. It is after place forces. So both lists are fully deployed. You pick one ship, and that one is a decoyed ship. Easy. Don't make it harder
Yep,
than it
makes
has to
sense.
be.
And basically, one can spend an evade token for the other ship for the the decoy. Yeah.
Both of them.
Oh, both of them can do it.
Yeah. Each
Yeah. No.
friendly Naboo handmaiden in the attack arc may spend one. So
Yep.
theoretically, if Padme is at range 3 behind a gas cloud with 2 handmaidens who decoyed her, both with evades, she can
Oh.
roll she can
Too
roll
natural.
2 natural evades. The range 3 could be a natural evade. The blank from the gas cloud gets changed automatically to an evade. So she's already at 4, and then these 2 handmaidens just give her extras because she's an N-1 Royal Starfighter. So they add results. So she can
Oh,
get
for the love
6
of God.
evades.
Oh, for the love of God.
The one I
That could be
actually
super annoying.
I'm tempted by decoying something random like an arc. It depends how the points count on the handmaidens. So obviously, like an arc 170 is only rolling 1 die, so you don't. It's not the ideal target to be decoyed. But if you've got like a sinker where you're wanting to keep them alive to give the handmaidens rerolls, you can kind of guarantee that you're always rolling an evade because they spend their evade to change it to the decoy, the evade result. So it's not as powerful if the ship you're decoying isn't a Naboo starfighter, but I think there's cases to be made, especially like if you think about Jedi and stuff. But
Yes.
so the reason why I wouldn't necessarily be looking at like decoying Anakin is because of the caveat that the in the attack arc, I don't want to be flying Anakin tied to these Initiative 1 ships. But flying an arc in formation because you want to keep him in formation and use those side arcs to get your rerolls and everything seems like it could be pretty interesting. So,
Could be pretty interesting. And even in the article, it shows Padman flying in formation with the 2 Naboos
yeah,
behind her. So I could, yeah, even in the open field, that could be pretty
yeah.
scary.
Like if you're at range 2 and get shot, the minimum you can get is if you all went 3 forwards. The minimum you can roll with all blanks is 3 evades.
That's dirty.
So I'll spend my own evade token, and the handmaidens will spend both of those to add extra results.
And the only way to break that up is you'd have to break that. You'd have to break down and kill the
Well,
handmaidens first.
you shoot it once if that happens because they spend the evade token, so they can only do it once per evade token. And they have to be flying fast. Remember, I said there is no evade action on the action bar.
Correct, correct. So they
So
have to go at minimum of 3.
yeah, so they're good. but I think people are making more of them than they are. I I feel like that if you fly this Padme block that it shows in the article, it's going to be super predictable. And the
As flying in formation tends to be.
yeah, the question comes whether that actually matters. Like, if they're going to shoot at your Initiative 1 handmaidens, do you care? I don't know. It depends what else is in your list and how much you can leverage them shooting these evidently, hopefully cheaper ships. But we'll see. And especially, like, you've got to think about the Republic signature card is obviously dedicated. So if you've got some V19s in there as well, they can dedicate to the handmaidens and these and Padme and stuff and get re-rolls, and there's lots you can actually do. That's
Look at you coming around on the old V19s.
well, I said that if you're fielding the Gold Squadron troopers, is it the Initiative 2 25 pointer?
Yeah.
It's fine as long as you don't spend points on it. 'Cause it's still 5 hit points, but I it's more
This
that
almost
I
feels like
want to run dedicated on them, but the jump up in point, like we discussed this when we played that game, the jump in points to be able to take a talent is just crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to go on my V19 rant again. But there we go.
But so you would think that these would complement an ace or two, like an Anakin and a Mace or something like that. So they're a good defensive front, but you're because again, they're still the two primary tactics. So they're not super killy,
So
they're super
they have
defendy.
torpedo swords. So
Yeah.
you could run handmaidens at Initiative 1 with passive sensors and plasma torps. Like that's probably getting into the 50-point range, I would guess.
Yeah.
So you've got two of them, and an Anakin with stuff and a bid. So you get to decoy Anakin, fly them around. It does make Anakin more predictable, but do you care? If
No.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm relatively happy that there is some interesting builds here. Like I said, I've pre-ordered 2 of them. I don't know that I would want 3, but if they're cheap
But
enough, I might.
maybe.
Maybe I'll get the 3rd if they're cheap enough.
Yeah, because if that pad main block turns out to be something worthwhile, then it might be worth it to get the three.
Yeah, it's hard because we don't know points, but I there's a lot of scope for some really, really interesting bits and pieces you can do. But yeah,
Yeah, I like the design choices. They feel different to me, and I think I know we talked about this whenever 2.0 first came out. It's X-wing now. I should even stop calling it that. When second edition came out, we wanted to make sure that each individual ship and each individual faction felt different, felt like their own thing. And I really think that FFG it was really kind of hitting a home run with these individual factions, making them feel different. This doesn't feel like the Republic version of an A-wing, or the like just like the droids don't feel like the separatist version of a TIE fighter. Like they all feel very different. They fly different. There are different tactics and strategies to flying them. So, I mean, I definitely am admittedly an FFG fanboy, but I will applaud them for this so far. They definitely feel very different.
yeah. So how cheap would they have to be before you? Sorry, how expensive would they have to be before you just chose a torrent? So obviously that's what we're really competing against is the
Correct.
V19 because they've got the same number of hit points, but 2 of them are shields, which is better. They've got the same agility. They've got the same offensive 2 dice attack. They've got a better action bar, arguably, because they've got the boost instead of the evade, and they can get the evade for free if they go fast enough.
So
So
I would think that those handmaidens alone should be in the 25-point range. They should be about the same.
So you think a handmaiden with that ability, that dial, should be the same as a naked torrent?
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So remember, 25 points for a Gold Squadron Trooper gets you 2 attack dice, 2 defense dice, and 5 hull. And the dial is absolute garbage.
Yeah, okay, that's a good argument.
The 1 hards are red, the 1 banks are blue, the 1 straight is blue, the 2 hard is white, the 2 banks are white, the 1 straight, so the 2 straight is blue, 3 straight is blue, the 3 banks are red, doesn't have the 3 turns, it's got a 4 straight which is white, doesn't have a 5, it's got a 3k and 2 Talon rolls. That's a pretty bad dial.
Yeah.
It's not the worst, but it's not, you're not singing and dancing about it.
What's throwing me off is the fact that they're limited. Like, you can't have more than 2 of them.
Okay, so let's say if there was one that was the same initiative. So if there's a initiative 2 generic.
Okay.
So if they were the same initiative with no ability.
You'd never see another V.
Well, that's what I mean. So how many points would it have to be for you to take a V19 instead of it? How many more points are you willing to pay? If we say a V19 is 25, would you play a 25-point V19 if this was 30 points?
Yeah, probably. I'd probably play these still.
Yeah. So what about if it was 40 points?
Okay, that's probably too far.
Yeah. So
yeah, so it's somewhere between
35-ish. You start making a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want the V19 or do I want to spend an extra 10 points, get 2 shields instead of 2 hull, a better dial, and full throttle?
So again, my thought process would be if that these 3 ships complement an ace. So I would need to be able to squeeze in at least 1 hard-hitting ace as well as these other ships. So if in combination between these 2 ships and Padmane and all the little abilities, if we're to the point where I can't squeeze in a 4th ace, they're too expensive.
Yeah, so let's have a look.
I mean, Padmane's probably in the 40 range, I would think. And like I said, I have no idea. I am literally spitballing ideas.
So I'm paying 82 points for an Anakin that I feel like I can put up against people.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're wanting, I'm running Anakin at 82 points, and then two arcs with upgrades as well, and an 8-point bid, I think. So I'm flying a 3-ship list. So I'm running arcs, not torrents. I could drop one of the arcs and take 2 torrents. That might be better for more ships on the table. I don't know, but if would you drop the 2 arcs into? Pardon me. Would you drop 2 arcs into 2 N1s?
See, it's not punchy enough, though. That's the problem that I have with that. Yeah. There's not enough red dice out there to justify that.
I would guess that they have to be more comparable to an arc. So 42 points is
but the arcs are really tanky.
Yeah. So but that's what I mean. If you get to a point where they cost as much as an arc, you're gonna take that, aren't you?
Yes.
So you already said, so a base arc at Initiative 2 is 42 points. You already said that you'd take the V19 if the base N1 cost 40. So I feel like you probably can't do 3 good N1s and a Jedi, and Anakin anyway. You can't do an 82-point Anakin. So you're then looking at Anakin having to take calibrated instead of 7B to make him a 74-point Anakin, which probably plays better at Agility 3 with the Handmaidens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, can you leverage that calibrated enough to make up for your lack of a 3 dice primary? because now your entire list doesn't have a 3 dice primary.
Right, you're flying a TIE swarm
So if
almost,
you
and only
want
4 ships.
if you want 4 ships, I think you're not running Anakin with 7B. So you're probably not running an Initiative 6 pilot.
And that gets a little bit scary, even as defensive as these are.
So I don't know. Second edition is a different game. I think you can run. You could easily run Obi-Wan here and like Handmaid and Spender the evades and have the focuses on defense. And obviously Obi-Wan can keep cycling people's focus tokens. You could run a Mace Windu if you wanted just a cheaper offensive tool. Plo Koon can mess around with moving tokens around if he needs to. Like Plo stealing people's evades because he can.
Because he's dirty.
Oh
like
no,
that.
sorry. You can give him one of your greens, or take one of the orange to you. So no, that doesn't work. Paul can't steal a free evade. Sad times.
Then nobody ever still see him again. It's gonna be. I could see Mace. Mace kind of, that was the one that jumped out at me right away. Obviously, Anakin's going to be Anakin, but Anakin, like, you need to have him at 3 attack dice. You need to have that punchy ship in there to be able to do it. So
obviously,
if you can't get
because Delta 7, 7B is initiative based pricing, taking it on Mace is cheaper. So you can get Mace with 7B for 62 points. If you're happy to fly Initiative 4, we've seen Padme is Initiative 4, so like you're probably guessing the. So if we're gonna split the difference. 30 points, it's not a competition. 40 points is probably too much. So if we say 35 for an N1, Padme being, I don't know
42?
how 42.
Yeah, I could see that.
With that ability, remember they price, even though she's not the highest initiative, that ability is really good.
I still got to get my head out of that space.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of instances in X-Wing where you have pilots that are lower initiative that are higher in points because their ability are so much better.
I definitely think that Padme has to be the most expensive.
Over Anakin. Anakin
with 1 force.
Yeah.
So they're the same initiative. Would I value that over Anakin's? So Anakin's ability is a gimmick. I don't know that it's actually good. So it's good.
That makes him...
But it makes him slippery at Initiative 4, which doesn't matter if he's slippery or not. He's still Initiative 4.
I don't know. I mean, the ability, the fact that he could still technically barrel roll twice in the same direction.
You're not wrong, but then you don't have a passive mod anymore because you only have 1 force.
You're right.
And you don't have, so you have no mods because you barrel roll as your action.
Yep.
So unless you did a speed 3 move where you get your evade.
Or he's got handmaidens nearby.
Oh, you've got handmaidens nearby. So
you can at least get some of those evade tokens at least.
So let's say, okay, so would you take Anakin over Rick or Leia?
No.
So
I don't think I would. I think Rick is probably.
How many more?
Better.
Okay, so how many more points does Rick have to be before you don't know which one to take?
Oh.
This is a fun game to play.
Oh, now it's starting to make my head hurt actually, because I'm like, oh man. So if we're thinking that those are 35, Rick would have to be, I don't know, he's probably in the 50 range.
But remember, you said that Padme would be 42.
Yeah, but then you made me rethink that.
Yeah. So how?
So if she's 50, she has clearly the better ability, then that would put him in the high 40s probably as well.
So, would you take? So now we're starting to get into Jedi territory. So okay,
yeah.
What about this one? Obi-Wan is 47 points.
Ooh.
So would you take Rick or Leia over Obi-Wan?
No, probably not. Obi-Wan's going to be it.
So it has to be cheaper than that.
Yep. Oh man,
So
playing the
you're
I
sitting
can't.
between 42 and 47 now.
Yep. Yep. I can't wait to play the game of what ships are what their price costs are going to be whenever we do the readjust. That's going to be interesting.
So
That's a
one
fun
thing
game.
that's worth mentioning is all of these articles used to say that they would be out on the 6th of June. They now no longer say that. They've put out a statement. They replied to a Facebook post from somebody saying that there's been a delay and there'll be more news once they have it. But effectively, they haven't turned to shipping now this week, so they're not arriving on June 6th.
Not to get political in any way, shape, or form, but I'm curious if there may be some tariffs from China that might be affecting that. I don't think they're in that
So
grouping though.
I'm really hoping that they decided that the points change is in July. So why not, rather than doing a hyperspace change, because they release the stuff, it goes into hyperspace, and adding the points for these ships, and then 3 weeks later doing a points change, which they wouldn't really have data on to see if something comes out. So imagine, for some reason, Anakin comes out and he's 20 points in the Naboo Starfighter.
Ooh.
Like, you're just going to take him, aren't you?
Oh my
Because,
god, yeah, at
yeah.
20 points? Yes.
But if they release it, are they going to then change these points 3 weeks later?
No, probably not.
Because there's not enough data, even though we all
Right,
think it's
exactly.
stupid. So I'm kind of hoping they're just actually doing it for game balance reasons. I'm really hopeful that that's the case. I may be giving FFG a lot of credit here, but I'm really hopeful that it's like, well, we're changing points in July anyway. How about we push the release back and bring the points change forward to the start of July and just make it all happen within a week of each other, and then it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see
that's
that.
what I'm hoping anyway.
I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've actually talked the poor N1 to death. Anything more you want to cover on that?
No, we've just hit an hour, but so I think we made it an
Perfect.
interesting conversation, not just about the article. I think, but
Absolutely.
that's the news. I don't know. Did you want to touch on anything for an actual main topic?
No, no,
Uh,
we want to try to keep this one a little bit short. And I don't think we have anything pressing at the moment to kind of cover. We can save that for whenever we have the full crew,
yeah, I
or at
suppose.
least most of the full crew.
What about? Do you want to just do a bit on the having done 26 episodes, been going for a year, try and get some feedback and all of
I
that?
do, but I really would like the other guys here for that one. So I will do a little a thank you, of course, to you, Chris. You've obviously done a lot of hard work. You've taken over the production job. So my if I had a hat on, I'd take it off to you for everything that you have done. I mean, this was kind of a an impromptu. Hey, let's get together and shoot the shit about X-Wing for a little bit and play a little practical joke on the X-Wing gaming world, and then we just kind of stuck with it. I've missed doing this, and the fact that we've done this for it hasn't felt like a year in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I do, of course, want to sing the praises of the guys whenever they come back. So we'll probably do a part two of the thank yous. But while you're here, of course, I obviously want to thank Sean and Chad. They're obviously not here to be able to accept those accolades, but I'll make sure to do that the next time we see them.
Yeah. Um. So I think we've been doing pretty well. Like we, I've never tried to pretend that we're actually a successful podcast anymore. Like we we're getting around about 500 listeners an episode. If you take all of them, because we're in so many different places as well. So the YouTube live stuff, people who listen on Patreon, people who listen on our Podbean account, people who listen on SoundCloud, and then people who listen on Spotify. We're at around about like 500 listens an episode. Like we're we've gone up a lot in the last couple of months. Like about 2 months ago, we were at like 2,000 downloads all time from Podbean, and now we're nearly at 4. So that's like exponentially got larger.
Whoa.
So
Hey, thanks, guys. Really appreciate that.
yeah, we're still a very small niche podcast. Partially that's on me because I'm terrible at sharing it and like doing the Reddit and the
But it also means that
FFG
word of mouth is
forum.
spreading
And
too, so that's a good thing.
yeah, people still remember what we used to do, and I feel like that's a good and a bad thing. So we definitely give us feedback on like the direction we've taken if you enjoy it. I'm not saying we'll change because we enjoy it, so um, unlucky.
Hopefully you enjoy it. I mean, this is all about us after all. No, I'm teasing. I'm so kidding.
um,
And that's it. Let's go through and do our. Obviously, we didn't do any of the giveaways. We're going to wait until we have a full show for that. But we do have some contact. We have some house cleaning we need to do on that.
yeah, well, I need to add something else to the prize pool. So I didn't actually get to play, so I didn't get to win. But we'll add a vulture droid into this month's Patreon
Ooh.
giveaway. So yeah, I think we did an Arc 170 last week. So now we will be sitting at it was the regionals focus tokens, shield upgrade, a Polaroo card, the alternate arc damage deck, and
Love that.
We'll do a vulture droid. So
Yeah, why not?
Loads of stuff. You just have to be a Patreon to win. So go and sign up to our Patreon. Give us $1 an episode and get free stuff. Maybe. Well, you definitely get some free stuff because we have our lack of target locks. We ran out of lack of focus tokens because they were relatively popular. We'll probably get I think I want to get another run of those done before I do go back and do something else. But I might kind of try and redesign them a little bit so that people can.
So those first edition ones are like the collector's items now.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would be better to have more different ones. I don't know.
No, I would agree. Like at some point in time, we come out with our full range. I'm still leaning in the direction that I want to have my own lack of focus templates, but that we'll get.
So
there.
I did speak to Jeff from Curlpaw about being able to do templates in a tray, and it's expensive.
I can imagine it's a lot. It's a lot of acrylic.
I feel like it's something that we would have to put in into a store rather than a giveaway, or it'd have to be a really high Patreon level to get done because I already lose money on the giveaways. I give away more stuff than we take in money, but that's because I use my store credit to buy the ships. So theoretically, I'm exchanging store credit for money I can use to pay the bills for the podcast. So if I could find someone to sell my store credit to 1-for-1, I would be better off. But this feels more fun. So
yeah, this does. It's a lot more fun. You get, and it makes you feel any better if you're a new patron. New patrons seem to be the ones that win all the stuff.
Yeah, all
you've been a patron for a week. Woohoo! You win.
Yeah. I have to keep checking that. I'm not going to send you that stuff unless you give me that dollar you promised. If that $1 bounces, you're not having it.
Oh, that's good. All right, we do have some contact information if you want to drop that as well.
Yeah, so you can reach out to us at the Lack of Focus Podcast at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at Lack of Focus on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. I've been trying to do, every time I'm playing a game, I'm trying to do Instagram posts and all my painting and stuff. So that is, I'm going to have to double check. I think it's Dice Hate Chris on Instagram. Yeah, but that's been my big social media push. Is trying to do my Instagram account. Yeah, Dice Hate Chris on Instagram. You can follow Dice Hate on Twitter. It gets all of the automatic updates when we do videos and stuff. I don't know. You don't really do Twitter or anything like that, do you?
Not really. Not really.
You should do for your YouTube channel. You should
I
do
was thinking,
Instagram for YouTube. It's a good demographic, you know.
I'm not really even very good, and I've been thinking this lately of even putting stuff on the Patreon page to say, "Hey, a new video is released." Like I just haven't done it, and I feel stupid for not doing that. So I'm gonna correct that. I guess I do have a Twitter account. I guess I could probably shift it over to a YouTube channel, Twitter account, and then
Yeah.
kind of go from there. You're probably right.
Yeah. Do you want
I'm
to
not
talk
gonna
about your
lie.
YouTube channel? See if we can get some cross pollination. Everyone who loves
Sure.
you.
If you are interested and you happen to play Magic the Gathering or Magic the Gathering Arena, I do have a YouTube channel that is Old Guy Gaming. That is on YouTube. I currently have 300 and almost 350 subscribers on there. I'm getting this close to the my goal of hitting that 1,000, so I can get the cardboard play button that the YouTube sends out, or at least so I've been told. No, I'm
No,
kidding. They
no,
don't do
it's
that. You have to make your own.
100K.
Yeah.
100,000 is a goal, and I can't even hit 2,000. So there you go. Make sure you sign up to a Dice Hate YouTube channel. Let's get some
Of course.
subscriber roll going there. Me and Ed can have a race. If I
Yeah,
can get to
absolutely.
2,000 before he gets to one.
Yeah, and if you are interested, like I said, we are having some serious discussions about the Alien RPG. Like, I mean, I think I'm going to be attached. There are rare occasions where I see games where I'm like, I want to be a part of that. Like, you always see those ones where you're like, yep, no, that'd be kind of cool. Then you buy it and it sits on the shelf. Nope, not this one. This one I'm really looking forward to getting into. I love the universe. So if you're interested, we're going to be putting those on the Dice 8 channel. I know you've got a Twitch stream we're going to tend to put it on. So maybe we can get some cross pollination from there as well.
Yeah, definitely make sure you check out the Lack of Focus Patreon. That's where we put quite a lot of content on there. I think we had 3 or 4 exclusive audio stuff on there in the last month. I've been doing some direct to some stream of consciousness type things, just whatever I was thinking about when I was in the car and stuff. So they're not edited. They're just like I'll take the start and end and just throw it up. So I'd love feedback on if people are enjoying those or if everyone hates it and I need to stop. Um, but yeah,
That is feedback.
yeah, negative feedback is also welcome. It's okay. We
Yep.
can
There's
take
no
it.
such thing as
I
no
only
such thing
cry
as
a
bad
little bit.
news. Yeah, no such thing as bad press, right?
Yeah, and does the beard need to come back? Joe's already said yes, so it is probably coming back. But I shaved. It's been nearly 2 years since I've been clean shaven, but all
We're
baby
getting
faced
into
and
summer. It makes sense.
no, I don't. I don't mind. It was more of every so often it just comes off. I just get the trimmer out. It was more of I think I had like a spot coming underneath my mustache, and it's really annoying. I'm just gonna shave it off and like exfoliate and do all of my beauty routine. That's how I stay looking so young and handsome.
It is how
Um,
you do it. How did Evie react to it?
so I put her down for a nap, so she was asleep. And then when she woke up, so I don't know if you've seen the nursery rhyme on there was an old man named Michael Finnegan. He had whiskers on his chin again. Along came a wind and blew them in again. Poor old Michael Finnegan, begin again, and then you start again, and it goes round and round. But it's about obviously an Irish guy who has a beard, and then the wind blows his beard back in. So on like the Wiggles channel, it's just a fake beard and they take it off. But she does this now at me. Like, grow your beard back, Dad. You look stupid.
So I don't know if you remember, whenever the year that we lived in Columbus, I did the test of growing a beard and didn't care for it ultimately in the end and ended up getting rid of it. That was a horrific experience for my daughter because one day I had it and then I didn't, and she
Yeah,
was like, "What the hell just happened?"
yeah.
It was trauma.
I don't actually like having a beard when it's long. I like it like trimmed pretty close
Same
anyway.
here. Same here.
So I don't mind. I enjoy being clean shaven. I always do the cheeks anyway, and like line it off and have a douchebag beard. So
What are you trying to say?
saying I do the line down
I
and
know you do
yeah, I
the
know.
line. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I look like an idiot, but I don't care because I'm already married. I don't need to impress anyone.
Right. My days of impressing anybody have ended a long time ago. Yep, I get that.
Yeah. I did also get to check how many chins I have. It turns out it's one normal chin and just one big one. It hasn't turned into like 3 chins yet, so
That's a good start.
we'll be okay.
That's half the reason why I keep the goatee. I hate my chin.
Oh,
I have like the
the
weakest of chins.
I hate. I don't mind my actual chin. I just hate this bit.
Yep.
Well, it's got to go. I need to do some serious exercises. I keep thinking about doing because I cook and stuff as well, and I can make healthy food, and I've got cameras, so I keep thinking about doing like geeky food to have like around the gaming table and stuff. But again, it's projects that never take off because it involves effort.
That's a really good idea.
I have a recipe book that I've written myself upstairs. I write down all my recipes, and so we brought it over from the UK. You don't get like this by accident, you know. This chin doesn't like magically appear.
That's right. You have to feed that kind of sexy, right?
Okay. I don't know. Is any more mocking of me we should do? You didn't tell me that we should try spinning because it's a neat trick.
I did not. No, normally I save that joke for myself, but it's on a rare occasion that you get to share that with someone else. So I always said that's my joke for me. You have to feed this kind of sexy. So, all right, I think that's going to do it for episode 26. Thank you so much for joining us, Kris. Always good talking to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Ed. Thanks, man.
And until next time, guys, fly casual. Thank you once again for joining the Lack of Focus X-Wing podcast. Check out Dice Hate Productions for all the latest episodes, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you again next episode.